They said she wouldn't make it through the night. The country's youngest tech billionaire, Elena Hartwell, lay dying after the crash, while the world watched in disbelief as every doctor, every specialist, every trained rescuer failed one by one. Her breathing faded, her pulse weakened, and hope slipped out of the hospital room like a final breath. But just when everyone stepped back, a man stepped forward. A tired single dad in worn boots, a forgotten war veteran with no medical degree, no fame, no reason to be there, yet the only one willing to try. What he did next didn't just save her life. It changed his. And hers. Forever. Elena Hartwell had always been unstoppable. At 32, she was the CEO who could command investors with a sentence, and change the world with an idea. But her success had come with a price: exhaustion, isolation, and a dangerous belief that she could outrun the limits of her own body. That December night, she pushed her schedule too far. The rain hit the highway like shards of glass, the wind howled against her car, and her driver begged her to cancel the final meeting of the day. Elena refused. She had never known how to slow down. What happened next became the nation's breaking news. A truck lost control on the slick road. A collision. Metal twisted like paper. Glass exploded into the night. The world's brightest young CEO lay unconscious, bleeding, trapped behind the crushed steering column. Emergency crews arrived within minutes, but the storm was unforgiving. The roads were blocked, equipment malfunctioned, and every rescue attempt failed. Doctors kept shouting for backup. Firefighters struggled against collapsed metal beams. Paramedics fought to keep her heart beating. And yet, nothing worked. Her pulse faded. Her breath thinned. Her eyes fluttered closed. On the edge of the crowd stood a man no one paid attention to, a man holding the small hand of a sleepy child. His name was Marcus Hale. A single dad. A former military medic who had seen too many lives slip away in the sand, in the smoke, in silence. He had come to the city for a job interview that he already knew he wouldn't get. He had arrived at the crash scene only because his daughter, Emma, begged him to stop. "Daddy, someone needs help." Marcus watched as the professionals gave up. One by one, they stepped back, shaking their heads, whispering, "There's nothing more we can do." Marcus felt something inside him snap, an old instinct, an ache he thought he buried after the war. He whispered to Emma, "Stay by the car. Daddy needs to try something." Before anyone could stop him, he pushed through the line of defeated rescuers. "Sir, you can't." "Let him," the fire captain said softly. "No one else has an idea anyway." Marcus climbed into the wreckage, rain soaking through his jacket, his hands trembling not with fear, but memory. The memory of comrades he couldn't save. The memory of promises he couldn't keep. But not this time. Not her. Not tonight. "Stay with me," he whispered to the unconscious CEO as he pressed his hands against her wound. And for the first time in an hour, her heartbeat steadied, just barely, but enough. Something impossible had begun. They got her out of the wreckage only because Marcus refused to stop working. He applied pressure, improvised tools from fire equipment, and commanded paramedics like a man who had led battlefield evacuations. The doctors later admitted, if he had been 2 minutes later, she would have died. But the story didn't end when Elena reached the hospital. Her injuries were catastrophic. The surgical team struggled for hours. Machines beeped, alarms blared, and the chief surgeon demanded more blood units than the hospital had used in a month. Marcus waited quietly in the hallway, Emma asleep on his chest. Every minute stretched like a lifetime. He didn't pray often, not since the war, but that night he did. Just before dawn, the surgeon stepped out with heavy eyes. "We managed to restart her heart twice. It's up to her now." Marcus lowered his head. He felt responsible, not because he failed, but because he cared too quickly, too deeply, for a woman he had only known for minutes. 3 days passed. Elena didn't wake. Marcus visited anyway. He left flowers. He left notes. He told her stories he had never told anyone, not even his daughter, hoping she could hear him somewhere inside the stillness. On the fourth morning, Elena's eyes opened. The first thing she saw was a child's drawing taped to her bedside, Emma's drawing of a soldier holding a woman's hand. The second thing she saw was Marcus, asleep in a chair, chin resting on his chest, exhaustion carving lines into a face that held more kindness than she had seen in years. Elena's voice was barely a breath. "Did you save me?" Marcus woke with a start, stood, and shook his head. "No. You saved yourself? I just refused to let you go." She stared at him, this stranger who looked at her not as a CEO, not as a billionaire, not as a headline, but as a human being. Tears filled her eyes. "I don't know how to thank you." Marcus gave a small, tired smile. "Just get better. That's all that matters." But as days passed, Elena realized something unexpected. She didn't just want to get better. She wanted to live differently. She wanted to understand the man who saved her. She wanted to know why his eyes carried storms, and why his smile felt like peace. Marcus had given her back her life. But she was about to give him something he never expected. A place to belong. A reason to hope. And maybe, a chance to love again. Their story was only beginning.